As I was listening to Keith Moore, and in the message, God dropped a scripture in my spirit. And the scripture is, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. How can we sustain our lives on bread alone? The owner of our lives says you can't sustain your life based on bread alone. You have to know the voice of God and know the words that comes out of his mouth to be able to sustain your life. So basically, we live off of bread daily, off of physical bread, physical, appetite. And we're not feeding the spiritual. We don't even know what hearing from God looks like or sounds like. And God keeps telling me, how can he father people that don't even know his voice? How can he father children that don't even recognize his voice, that don't even know when he's speaking and when he's instructing and when he's directing and leading? They're not familiar with him. How can he lead those that are not even familiar with his leadership? And he kept speaking to me, and he kept telling me that man cannot live. You can't sustain your life based on bread alone. It's impossible. A man of God can lead you to Christ, can speak to God. Can speak to you about God, can, tell you one or two things about God, but you must be able to hear God for yourself. You must be able to know the voice of the Father. The voice of the Father is the most precious voice you need in your life to be able to lead and direct you and instruct you and lead into the path of life, because all things pertaining to life and godliness has already been given, and you must know the Father to be able to know it and be able to walk in it and be able to, let it be the guidance of your life. How can man live by bread alone? It's impossible. And that's what we're doing today. We are just living by bread alone. Bread alone. You see, a man, they've not even been with God all week long, and yet they want to understand the path for their life. They want to understand what they should be doing, how they should be doing it, and where they should be. How can you know these things when you don't spend time with God? It's a dangerous place not to spend time with God. It's a dangerous place to be, not to know the voice of God. You are like in a dark and always eating crumbs from people's tables. You're eating crumbs from men of God, because at the end of the day, you have to stand before God yourself, and God has to go through your life, and you have to account for everything you've done with your life. No man of God is going to stand in your stead or stand on your behalf. You have to do this yourself. You are eating crumbs. I hear that loudly. Crumbs. Because you have refused to sustain your life with knowing the Father for yourself. Man will hand you crumbs because they are eating, and they cannot eat and you eat at the same time. They have to feed themselves first and then feed you with what is left over. So you're eating so many men's left over because you have refused to stay and know the Father for yourself. Oh my God, I'm getting blessed speaking as well. Eating crumbs, eating leftovers. when the master has dished out a solid meat for you to be able to sustain your life with, which is in the word. But because you're too lazy to open that word, too lazy to even know the voice of God, too busy with life to even know the voice of God, that you feel like, yeah, God speak to my pastor, and then whatever you tell him, you tell me. It's giving you leftovers. You need the word, you meet for yourself. You need the word for yourself. You need to go and get the word for yourself. That's why man cannot, you cannot, there's no way possible that you can live by bread alone. But by every word, you're sustained by every word that proceed out of the mouth of God. I pray that you come closer, knowing God for yourself and knowing the word for yourself, because that's your only avenue and your success to everything pertaining to your life. And I pray you get closer to God. God bless you.